quiet seaside town, an evil lain to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Tabletop Gold, episode 177. My name is Lars Casteen. I'm the Golden Tyrant. It's nice to have you here for another edition of a podcast in which we play a role-playing game with each other. Hi. Joined today is me with Robin Lange. Hi, Robin.
Hello. Good that time, everyone.
Good that time to you and to everyone. Our Matt Humphreys is here.
Hello. Good that time, everybody.
Zoe Chernicoff is here.
Good that time, everyone.
And David, the Tin Man Chernicoff, is also here.
Good that time, Lars, and all of you out there.
Great. Thank you. Glad that everybody's having that and that everybody's good. I'm unfortunately not doing super great right now because I have a disease that makes me do the following things anytime I want to swallow. If you're watching this on YouTube, check this out.
That looked really
Did you want to
uncomfortable.
scream a little bit?
A little bit.
Yeah,
It felt a little bit. I feel like a little. You know that thing Maxwell's demon, where there's like a molecule that lets like electrons into a bubble and puts protons out of the bubble or whatever it is.
No, I don't know that.
Yeah, and it just imagine this, that there's like a little gremlin doing things to molecules in space or whatever. I feel like Maxwell's demon is inside my throat right now, stabbing me every time I swallow. Because I and everybody else in my household are suffering from a gross childhood disease called hand, foot, and mouth disease.
That's one.
I can't believe you guys got it again. This is also
we got
the
it 2
second
years
time your
ago.
house has had it.
So what this thing is it's terrible, and I'm not going to show you my hands because you're just going to
it's
be
like what
disgusted
you
by them.
think chicken pox is, but it's
Yes.
not that bad, and hand, foot, and mouth is that instead.
Yeah, and there's like a range of things that can happen to you. You get a sore throat, as we've mentioned before. You get splotches on your hands and your feet and also inside of your mouth that are these little pustules that fill up with a goop and then they explode.
Well,
and
and
the goop
also
hits.
in your throat. Like,
Oh, yeah, in my
which is
throat,
why
for
you're
sure.
making that face when you drink
That's
that
why I'm-
beer. Yeah.
Yes. And it's really nasty, and I really don't like it. David, I sent in an email that I have it, and David said back, like, watch out for the fingernails thing. And I was like, what is that? David, would you mind sharing what the fingernails thing is?
Trigger warning. Skip ahead 30
Yeah,
seconds.
trigger warning. Sorry, it's gross. But it's theoretically gross. This isn't happening. It's just something that could
Well,
happen.
that's because you're not
This is
far
part
enough
of
away
nature.
from it to forget it happened and then have.
Yeah, when you said you wanted to talk about this at the top of the show, the first thing that entered my mind was, I don't know how to talk about this without talking about the fingernail thing, and I don't think anyone wants to hear us talk about the fingernail thing because it's so awful.
Well, what is there a euphemism that we can come up with
Yes.
to explain the fingernail thing in a way that is like maybe safer for people who are driving their cars to their jobs or whatever it is that's
Totally.
happening right
We don't
now.
want anyone veering off the road or hurling any devices into the ocean. Okay, here's a good one. Okay.
Okay, good.
Have you ever grown a houseplant
Mm-hmm.
and then its fingernails started to fall off?
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know how to
I mean, I kind of assumed that that's where it was going when you said the fingernail thing.
analogize. I don't think your fingernails necessarily fall off. They become thinner
Yeah, they get
Okay.
peely.
Hmm.
and more brittle. And
Okay.
so they can
be compromised in various ways.
Yeah.
When we had it in our house, our son got it first, and I got it next. If Zoe and our daughter had it, it was not obvious.
But the thing about the fingernails too is it really does this happened to us 2 years ago, but I think it's about 6 weeks. So you truly forget that you've had this, and he got it first, like he got hand, foot, and mouth, and then his fingernails started peeling first. But you just don't connect it at that point, right?
No,
it was
follows on.
This would have been like the fall of 22. We got like RSV, COVID, hand, foot, and mouth. Right? Like we were just sick the whole time.
We all had everything. Yeah.
So we didn't connect. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, he's not eating enough protein. Like we need to get beef tallow in him or whatever it is. Like something is wrong nutritionally, but no.
Yeah.
So was this how you wanted to open the show, with kind of a general, like, this is gross and bad?
I find it really interesting. I'm really happy to talk about it. I'm enjoying this a lot.
I guess it's very Abomination Vault.
I just like hearing about what's going on with people. I like gathering data and thinking about things and developing a greater sense of my understanding of the world.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm going to say is, if in 6 weeks my fingernails are going to fall off, that means set the date for episode 183 for another one of these talks to be me having no fingernails.
It's amazing, though, all of the different like childhood diseases, and they are like what they do to the adult body is so messed up. Like,
totally.
Yeah,
I'm so glad I had chickenpox as a kid. I remember last spring I had this, I can get shingles. That's super fun. Yep.
Mm-hmm,
Last spring I had this other childhood virus that like, it's one of those things where once you get it, you don't usually get it again. Where like I was slapped face syndrome, or like it's a parvovirus, and I was super sick as well.
Gross.
I got it from like someone in my school who had it. It was going around the school. And like all of these things go around, and they're just, you kind of wish everything's almost a little bit like chickenpox, like one and done.
I would take it.
But
I would settle for that.
Because these other things, like, they just keep coming back. I mean, I had like swimmer's ear or variations of ear infections like every 6 months growing up.
Yeah. I got strep so many times growing up that they had to give me an injection in my butt. They had to like they cheeked me. They did the old gluteus plunge.
Did it work?
I think so. I got strep like 6 times in a year. Whoa. And then I never got strep again after it. I haven't had it, I don't think, since then.
If there's a shot that keeps you from getting strep ever again, why?
Oh, but it's such a pain in the butt to get
it. You just get one shot.
Thanks
in the
for
butt.
coming to our show. It's been
I've actually never had
Tip
strep.
your servers.
Podcast accomplished.
Okay. Yeah, the one that got us the most at the time was Fifth's disease.
Yeah.
Which
that's
is
the hand, foot, and mouth. That's what I had.
Is it the same?
Oh, I thought it was.
No, sorry, not hand, foot, and mouth. I misspoke. That's the slapped face syndrome.
That's slapped face syndrome.
Slapped face syndrome, fifth disease, because it's the 5th most common childhood disease.
Right. And at a certain point, they were just like, there's so many of these. We can't give them all names.
It's true.
We're just gonna phone this one in, and we're gonna call it by an ordinal number and or sort of a symptom associated.
Lost count disease. It's like, how many of these annoying things do we have to deal with? But today, we're not going to deal with annoying things. Today, we're going to deal with wonderful things, because we're going to do a little, before we move into our game, we have such a nice community surrounding this show. We, we say it at the end of every episode, we have the best community in podcasting. I believe it. I agree with it. Every once in a while, we get a bunch of cool stuff that we see from our community that we want to share with people, and we're going to do that right now. Thank you for talking with me about childhood diseases. Let's move on. We got this review, this is a comment on Spotify. Spotify has comments now. Spotify has changed a lot about their podcast platform recently. Among some things is the big changes are you can leave comments now, which is like what they do instead of reviews, which I think is great.
Huge.
And you can also watch our show as a video show on Spotify. I upload our show as a video to Spotify every single week. So if you want to watch it as a video, not on YouTube, you can do it on Spotify. But they have these comments. And here's a comment that we got from Lord Fornicus. All caught up. Time to review. Nyang Nyang Bonobo. Nyang Bono Nyang Nyang. Bobo Nyang Nyang. Bono Nyang Bonobo Nyang 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 Wolfgang Messi Bonobo Nyang Bono Bonobo Nyang Bono Mark Nyang Nyang Bonobo Bono Nyang Bono Nyang Nyang Bonobo Nyang Nyang Bonobo Nyang Nyang Bono Istin Bonobo Vadim Nyang Nyang Bonobo.
That was just a roller coaster.
Couldn't agree more, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
And really a lot of great points brought up there.
And really hit with sort of a poignant ending, too. I feel like moved.
The whole thing being
Thank you.
in Shakespearean meter really struck me as well.
Yeah.
It is blank verse,
Yeah.
but that's not nothing.
I was gonna say it's. I didn't know we could do undercommon iambic pentameter.
We got art here from this came in from Dex, who is a friend of the show. This is a piece of art that he made to illustrate from, I believe, from episode 151. I'm not sure exactly. I don't have it written down, but it's great art showing an exploding Caligny and showing like the light radiating out from it as all four of our heroes are like shielding their eyes and adjusting to the like withstanding the blast of light coming from them, and it's beautiful. And
Dex's stuff is great. I need to actually turn the art he did of Trill in her wig, like when we first described the wig. I need to I need to make that into like a avatar icon. It's so good.
Yeah, it's super awesome. A lot of funny stuff. This one is just like a really beautiful like depiction of the action that happened on our show, which I loved. We got a meme on our Discord from the Chindividual. This is a meme about the fight with Belcora Harvex where I retconned a reactive strike, if you recall that from a few weeks ago. It's that meme where there's like a smug dude with the raised eyebrows saying, and it says trade offer. It says, I receive you not doing that reactive strike against Belcora. You receive a chance to delay, have Trill cast Ghostly Weapon, and you having a chance to properly go to town on Belcora. And then underneath it says Lars, Golden Tyrant. And I love memes, everybody. I'm a big meme guy.
Meme.
I love the memes. And this is awesome to see, and another awesome thing from our community. And finally, the last thing we want to talk about in this little community seg that we're doing, Alice. I don't know if you remember a few months ago, like we talked about somebody leaving reviews on various products on Amazon, like mentioning our thing. Are you guys able to read the thing that the share? Is it big enough for you to read?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can we go around the
sure,
horn? I realize I'm like talking too much.
No. Give a player and a product, and we'll voice these.
So for this first one, let's do Robin.
Should I do it, or do you want me to do it in Trill's voice?
You do whatever you want to do. You make that choice.
I'll just do it. Love this little thing. Spent all summer staying cool and listening to the lovely Pathfinder actual play podcast, Tabletop Gold. Although I don't know what this little thing is, unfortunately.
It's a portable air
above.
Conditioner.
Oh,
yeah,
I see now.
the
Yes.
product is listed above
10,000 BTU. Okay.
That sounds good to
Not
me.
bad.
Could use one of those.
5
Nice
stars.
and chilly.
How about for the next one? How about you, Zoe?
Sugar-free pumpkin pie syrup, 25.4 ounces. Pumpkin on this tasty syrup. Love listening to the lovely hosts over at Tabletop Gold, a Pathfinder actual play podcast, while enjoying a nice cup of sweet coffee first thing in the morning. Syrup in coffee. I'm into that. I never thought of it, but I'm here for it.
Sounds very Canadian.
Like a flavor syrup. I love it.
25.4
Oh, I guess this
ounces
is
of syrup.
I thought it was like a pancake syrup that Alice was just
As soon as
putting
you
in,
said
but-
flavor syrup, I'm like, oh, right, like Starbucks does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any coffee
here,
shop
yeah,
does.
Love it.
That's about 35,000 pumps worth.
25.4 ounces is really a significant. That's a load.
Last
That's
you
a
a
hefty
while.
fella.
That's a lot of pumpkin pie spice syrup.
Armat, you want to do the next one?
Sure. These are for Daimyo card stands, 50 pieces translucent. These work with Pathfinder tokens. I started using tokens for my Pathfinder games, and these work great. Thanks to Tabletop Gold for helping me learn this lovely game. Thank you, Alice.
And David, do you want to do the last one?
Last one is for Huggies Calm Baby Wipes, unscented. Headline, nice wipes. 5 stars.
Nice wipes.
Review, I enjoyed the quality and performance of these wipes. And I'm so glad I had the podcast Tabletop Gold to listen to while changing my little boy's booty.
Oh, man.
I also point out these were all published the day before my birthday, so what a nice birthday gift. Thanks, Alex.
What a great
classy. Everything's a 5-star review. It's just a
And
lot
a
of
verified
feel-good
purchase.
vibes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so funny to
Alice,
me.
you are the best. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Alice, for that. What a joy, what a delight. And thank you just to everybody in our community who helps us out, however it is that you do, whether it's leaving absurd reviews on Amazon or whatever.
Whether
Thanks
it's
to everybody.
having done that or going to go do
Or
that right
going to
now.
do it.
Now that
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. But thank you to everybody, and let's jump into our game, shall we?
Let's do it.
Mushroom, 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 mushroom.
Your search for your friend Mark from the Otari Town Guard has put you on the trail of a black dragon dwelling somewhere within the deepest reaches of the Abomination vaults. You've doubled back to the western side of the sprawling natural caverns surrounding the dungeon's 8th floor and are currently on an expedition into a lush and fecund fungal forest. In the midst of the fungal growth, you've discovered a deep chasm crossed only by a stone bridge. Midway through crossing that bridge, a pair of oversized blood-red puffballs shaped like inflated roses, drawn by the motion of a new creature entering their habitat, started drifting in your direction. Now, the 4 of you are fighting off the carnivorous fungi, the chasm reeling on either side of a 10-foot wide bridge. So the last thing that happened was Ao did a recall knowledge on these fungi. I want to recap what it is that Ao learned. Ao learned that these creatures, which are susceptible in particular to piercing damage, when they die, they explode in a burst of poisonous spores. Another thing I want to tell you is that the kind of fungus that this is, Ao knows, is something called a dragon's blood puffball. This is a kind of dangerous fungus that is common to the Darklands. They just grow in places like this, and they try to eat creatures that enter into a perimeter, and that's what they're trying to do to you right now.
Isn't one of the recipes from Nothing But Kobolds dragon's blood something?
That's
It
right, we're pudding.
is.
I wonder if the ingredients for that includes this mushroom.
What a good question.
So you're saying if I bite one of these things, I get an extra action?
You need a bite attack, though.
Exactly.
If
only we
this is
had
actually
one.
really interesting. Here's the description for dragon's blood pudding. While some unscrupulous chefs claim that this savory pudding is made from real dragon's blood, its crimson color and acrid smell actually come from bloody mandrake paste, ginger root, and distilled carob sap.
Oh, interesting.
So I think it is a
They just have a similar name. They just have the same name.
Apocryphal.
common ancestor.
Is bloody mandrake paste, is there a kind of mandrake that's a bloody mandrake? Is it mandrake paste to which you add blood? It just seems redundant if it's just ground up mandrake, because either
I bet
that's
it's got to
bloody
be
or-
a specific type of mandrake, a bloody mandrake.
bloody
like
mandrake.
a
Well-
red mandrake.
According to Archives of Nethys, a bloody mandrake is a...
What a mandrake's mother calls it when it misbehaves.
That's right. You bloody mandrake.
mandrake, you get out of my house and get a job. You hear? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
Bloody...
You smell and you're bloody.
Oh my God, is Terry Jones on the call?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. These are great questions. I don't have the immediate answers for them. But
Let's
the
grind
culinary
everything to a halt
Let's
until we
grind
get
it to a halt.
them.
You're welcome.
Well, just after the combat, we're going to stop and we're going to try and cook
Yeah,
with it.
well,
you know?
really.
Yeah. Start a fire. Why not?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I want to
Mark.
use all 3 of my actions to recall knowledge about bloody mandrakes.
So here we are at the beginning of round 2. Ao just gathered this information and presumably shared it with the group. And the situation is that, just to give you a check-in, now that we're kind of at the beginning of round 2, there are these 2 dragon's blood puffballs, one floating askance off kilter on the southern side of this bridge, and another much less injured. They're just insistently advancing upon you, blowing bits of spores into the air, blowing up in your face like a blister from hand, foot, and mouth disease, just exploding all over your face. If that's an image that helps make this feel more real for you.
Didn't need it. Thanks.
Yep, no problem. Mag and Isthin are on the front end of this 10-foot wide bridge, and Ao and Trill are about 15, 20 feet away, doing ranged attacks so far from a distance. A dragon's blood puffball immediately in front of Isthin. This is not an intelligent creature. It's just going to try to do what it's been doing, which is to poison Isthin with exploding blooms in his face. A bit of fungal matter expands and boom, 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 poof, 20 on the die, a critical hit.
You gotta draw.
Nice. So I'm drawing a card from our stack of spade cards to see if I have drawn the ace of spades. If I do, I get triple damage. It's the 2 of spades.
Some called the
There
deuce
are 1, 2, 3,
spades.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more spades in the crit deck, which is going to stick around. So I'm doing double damage to Isthin. Not a great damage roll. 32 points of bludgeoning and poison damage as Isthin gets buffeted and then spores fly into his nostrils. That's going to happen.
Some got in my mouth. Oh.
And as you sputter, another spore bloom blows up in Isthin's face. 19 on the die for a 31 that time.
That's going to hit as well.
And Isthin is going to take 18 more points of damage. This is a sudden turn in this combat. This puffball, I don't think, has any option other than just to keep attacking, even though there's very, very little chance that it's going to hit. But that's the nature of having a
Mindless
dumb,
puff.
mindless thing happening. That's a 19 to hit.
That will not hit.
Okay. The puffball to the immediate north, the one that is right next to Mag, I think that these two things are basically happening simultaneously. These two rose-like, 10-foot wide fungal orbs are just sort of thumping into the two of you, blocking the way repeatedly. So this is just going to be 3 strikes onto Mag. 31 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, so Mag is going to be taking a 14 total damage combination of bludgeoning and poison as a bloom explodes in Mag's face. Here's another one. Oh my god, another 20 on the die.
You gotta draw.
Nice. Here we go. Is it the ace?
Not this time.
It's the jack. Okay. So double D coming at Mag. This is not going the way that I thought it would go, everybody. 40 points of damage
Holy
to Mag.
crow.
Wow.
Third attack. Another 20 on the die.
What?
You gotta draw.
Wow.
Do I draw the ace?
Nice.
No, not this time.
I draw the 7.
The Septimus of spades.
This is crazy. Amazing damage roll. 62 points of
my
damage to
God.
Mag.
Wow.
How's Mac doing?
Let's make it into a guessing game. How many hit points do you think Mac has left?
How many points?
Yeah. What do you think?
45 points?
Okay. Zoe, what do you think? How many?
52.
Armat, what do you say?
I would say I have an unfair
Mag has a
reference
lot.
point because Isthin
Right.
is also not feeling good, so I will recuse myself from this vote.
Okay.
Well, it could still be
Yeah,
different
with
from the starting
Responsible, I
point.
like that.
With those 3 successful attacks, including the double damage, 62 hit points, I guess Mag has resisted some of that damage. as we've gone along.
Is that right?
I seem to have resistance to physical damage right now. Should I?
Probably not.
Good talk.
Is that
Yeah,
part of your
you should
rage?
be 14 more points down than you are. Or 21 more points down.
20.
Because that resistance should only be to weapons, right? And these are not weapons.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
that new raging resistance deal, so it's just not automated.
Oh, well, then I have a lot less to brag about, don't I?
I'm glad that we talked about it. I'm glad
Me
that we
too.
figured it
I'm
out.
down to a scant 58 hit points.
Oh, man.
That's close. Okay.
Woof. Yeah.
Mhm.
Woof, indeed.
You were kind of
Mag.
right on for Istin, though, Robin. He has 46 hit points left, so he didn't
Okay.
take half as bad a hit as Mag did.
So after 2 brutal onslaughts from these fungus that are just sending red spores all over the place, just like like miniature fireworks going off, Mag is pretty badly off right now. And what is she going to do on her turn?
Okay, so to be fair, it is 71 hit points because I had some temporary hit points because I'm raging.
Okay.
So that explains why the math got crazy.
Okay.
With my first action, I will physically lick my wounds. No, I would like to
Okay.
take a swing at the one to the south, which is in front of Istin,
Okay.
is worse off, and I want to try and remove it from this world.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here is a strike
Remember, when you hit it, it's going to explode, but
with the
Istin says to Mag, Mag, let's saute these motherfuckers.
and inspiration from that remark results in a 26 to hit,
Easy
I'm
hit,
sorry,
yes.
I didn't mean to distract you.
and that's 22 damage.
Okay. That's actually 32 damage
Right,
as
right,
the
piercing damage.
sharp end of the Earthbreaker chips into this this hard exterior of this fungal bloom. So Mag is doing quick damage to it.
Do it again. That's a 1 on the die.
Oh boy. What is happening tonight? What is going
won't
on?
all die. You promised us at the beginning of the fight.
I promised you. I put it in writing. Okay, so if I draw
This
the
won't
ace,
feel at all like the real world conditions you're trying to escape from. He's at.
if I draw the ace, Mag is doing damage to herself.
Yes. Oh no, not this time.
the
It's the
3.
3.
Okay,
Eltray.
you got one more action.
I'm gonna hit it again. It's very, very mappy, very damagey. Let's see what we've got. Nope. 4 on the die, so it's only a 13 to hit.
Okay. So Mag lands 1 hit and swings a couple more times, and it is now Istin's turn.
All right.
Istin, face to face with both of these dragon's blood puffballs.
Yeah. So I think Istin is going to start by using his Conflux spell, Spinning Staff, which recharges his spell strike and allows him to make 2 staff attacks for the low cost of 1 action. So it
Ooh.
is cool. I'll put it.
It's very cool.
Oh.
I saw somebody on the Reddit the other day being like, this is not good. And I had to respond being like, what are you talking about?
Like,
Yes, it is.
it is very good. All right. So here is the first strike at the damaged one. 30 to hit.
That's a hit.
Love it. Okay, here's the damage. 18 bludgeoning.
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. This
Still-
puffball is bouncing back and forth in the air in front of Istin as a chunk of it gets dented, just dong straight into it. It's like a tire iron has been taken to the hood of a Chrysler LeBaron, and it is barely hanging on to its life, but it is still up.
It is the Rocky Balboa of puffballs.
Yes, exactly. In that it's going to destroy all of you against all
Yeah.
odds? Yes.
He's like
Yes, it
iron.
is.
I cannot break that puffball. 18 against the other puffball.
That misses.
Shoot. Okay. That is not great. But I now have my spell strike charged, and I have 2 actions, so I'm going to electric arc these fools. See if I can't cook them that way instead.
A few moments ago, Trill did this same thing, and it seemed to be effective.
All right, that is 13.
Okay, and we get a pair of reflex saves. Another one on the die. That one on the die from the one that has 1 hit point
No,
left. So
I was gonna move as my first action next.
So what that means is that the Dragon's Blood Puffball to the north is going to take full damage. Then how many points of damage was that, Armat?
That's 13 points of damage.
Okay. The one to the south is going to take 26 points of damage, and as they take those 26 points of damage, there is a 20-foot emanation that gets dropped. And I think that this is actually not quite correct because it should be coming off of all of them. So this should be hitting everybody here.
Cool.
As the lightning permeates this fungal bloom, rips it apart, and then a shower of just an incredible amount of blood red powder flies out of this thing and slams you in the face. I need everybody to please make a fortitude save to avoid taking 25 points of poison damage. The Dragon's Blood Puffball that is still alive is immune to all of this poison damage, so takes no damage. How did Mag do? I'm just going from closer to further away. How did Mag do on this?
35 to save.
35, that is a critical success. Mag takes no damage. How did Isthin do on this?
Pretty good. 30.
So you're going to take half damage, 12 points of poison damage. How did Trill do here?
My first action on my next turn is going to be to move back just 5 feet. Trill got a 25.
Okay, so that is 25 points of poison damage. And how did Ao do?
20 on the die for a 35.
And I should mention Ao is Norman right now, and that means that 35 means that's a critical success, no damage to Ao or to Mag. With 3 actions, that is Isthin's turn. Trill, just as you're about to back up, you get pelted with this blood red spore shower. You start coughing. You've got poison moving into your respiratory system. What are you going to do?
Well, as she's trying to wipe the powder out of her face, her first action's going to be to step back. I'm just trying to decide exactly. That one's going to go that way. It's going to come from there. So it's going to be difficult terrain, but she's going to step into the mushrooms behind her.
Okay.
And she's going to go back about 10 feet. And then she's going to cast Electric Arc on the last one.
Okay. And this is still in range.
So that'll be 18 points of damage, depending on its save.
Its save is not good. That is a 27.
What is the save for Electric Arc? Why is it not showing up?
Your spell DC is a 27. I just made it.
You just made it. Ugh.
So half damage. 9 points of electricity damage as a jolt of electricity bursts out from Trill and jostles this puffball slightly. And we're now at the beginning of round 3. Trill and Ao hanging back a short distance away from the front lines here, where Isthin and Mag are both very hurt, injured. It's not great what's going on here. The question is, I don't know. It's a slightly more tense situation than I was anticipating with these puffballs. Let's see what happens as it's Ao's turn to see if she can salvage this situation. What is Ao going to do? What is Norman going to do?
Norman laughs in the face of the poison that he has evaded. He says, little pustules of poison pouring off of his lips, just for maximum alliteration.
Mm-hmm.
And he fires an arrow from Chompers to the remaining puffball. Lego. That is a 33 to hit.
33 is an easy hit, nearly a crit, but not quite.
9 points of damage.
19 points of damage as Norman's arrow finds a weak point and punctures the pressure starting to release from the fungal bloom. And you've got 2 more actions.
Never one to pause when he believes himself to be doing well. Norman fires a second arrow. That one is a 24.
Only a hit because of Trill's Courageous Anthem.
Hey, thanks, Trill.
Nice.
Woohoo. And that does 11, which I take it to mean 21 points of damage.
21. So far we're looking at 40 points of damage from 2 quick arrow strikes from Norman.
Not feeling good is the puffball. Is there anything useful I can do here aside from try to take a third swipe at it?
I think that your options are limited because these things are mindless. Like
that's
this
why
is.
I was trying to think about a off guard thing, but nope. Ever brazen and ever confident, Norman fires once more, and that's another 24.
Once more, only because of Trill's Courageous Anthem, is that a hit. I think that sounds like a hero point for a very, very important Courageous Anthem for Trill.
Aw, thanks. Take it.
And that's 12/22 points of damage.
All right, so a total of 62 points of damage from 3 just confident shots from chompers. And it is now that Dragon Blood's
Wait, sorry, this thing is
turn.
still alive?
Yeah.
That's insulting.
Yeah, it is. Did I say that I liked fungus? Of course it's insulting. It's, why do these things even exist? It's proof that we're alone in the universe, that that there would be such a thing as just like weird spores that are always there waiting for your immune system to go away so that they can like start like growing within you. It's horrible. Anyway,
I never understood your mushroom thing until you explained it. And then I totally get it. Like every time I see like I walk around and there's like some fungal stub mushroom, whatever, caps growing out of the bottom of a tree. And I just think, oh wow, yeah, it's like it's alive, but it's the other side of the life coin. And it's just instantly there to just feed on anything that we would typically think of as alive as soon as it's not alive anymore.
Yeah.
But it's also just out there in plain sight, and we're like, oh, mushrooms, and then sometimes we eat them. Yeah, it's totally bizarre.
David.
I totally never tracked it, and then all of a sudden it made complete sense to me one day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know that I'm ultimately immature and like we need decomposers. You can't just have dead trees all over the place. It's like a problem. I get it, but I don't want to. I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's certainly whether you like it, whether you dislike it. You don't like it. I respect that. I don't mind it. It is really bizarre to eat them. It's just a weird thing to do, given what they are.
I agree. I think this mushroom, this puffball, has the sense to know who is weaker at this point between Mag and Istin. It's adjacent to both. So I think that it's going to target Istin, and it's going to start trying to blow these blooms in Istin's face. First is a 23. Poof, this thing blows up in Istin's face.
Miss.
Next up is a 22.
Also
this is much closer to what I thought would happen last round. And with the third strike...
That was almost another 20.
Almost another 20. That's a 22 again. So
all misses. Happily.
So this thing just like blobs sort of harmlessly into Istin 3 times. And it's now Mag's turn.
I believe because its buddy has kicked the proverbial mushroom bucket.
Mm-hmm.
I am now able to walk around it.
That's true. If you want to be flanking, you have to be in this position here.
Yeah, I just want to check whether I actually have the range to do that, and I'm struggling.
You need 30 feet to get there. I think that with the new remaster rules,
Yes.
you easily have that. Your speed while raging is something like 45 feet.
Whoa.
Wow.
It's 35 feet.
That's so different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good.
That's really good. So then why sudden charge? Oh, man, I'm in the weeds.
Sudden
on
charge,
this.
you can go twice that. Sudden charge, you
Right.
can go 70 feet.
I guess that would help you with difficult terrain because that's 10 per. Anyway, I'm getting lost in the weeds.
Speaking of being lost in the weeds, as Mag is running around the far side of this puffball, Mag is running deeper into this fungal forest. This thick, wild fungal growth is sort of teeming all around Mag. As Mag is getting closer and closer to an area where there are thick spider webs hanging from the ceiling and what look like bodies in those spider webs. This is something that maybe Mag notices for a moment as she gets deeper into this forest to get to the far side of this puffball.
Get to the far side of this puffball and make a strike. 36 to hit.
36 to hit is definitely a critical hit by a million.
And that crit damage roll is, how's 54? Is that going to finish the job?
54 is going to finish the job. And as
Let's all get splody.
yeah, as the Earthbreaker punctures the outside of the puffball, all of you except for Trill are now going to be subject to a spore explosion. We have 7d8 poison damage. This time it is a 28, and each of you needs to make a basic reflex save.
You better.
Sorry, basic fortitude save.
You better believe it. Trill is out of the way.
Trill, watching her friends die from a distance like a coward. Okay, how did
Regretting that
Mag
hero
do?
point now, aren't you?
No, it's fine because she probably would have failed it and then ended up taking over 50 points of damage. So
Well, can you roll a d20 for me? Can you
Just out of
see
for
what
funsies?
happens?
Sure.
Yeah, just for funsies. Let's do it. Was Trill's move backwards correct?
14.
14. Yeah, you would probably been okay. So how did
I still would have taken a decent.
You would have
amount. I
taken some.
all the damage, I think.
how
Her
did
fortune's not
Istin
good.
do on this save?
18.
Full damage, 28 points. How did Ao do?
Ow.
27.
Critical success. How did Mag do?
Yes, it's another 35. So she's fine.
So that's another critical success as the two of you who did not take damage have just like hyper developed fortitude at this point. A little bit of poison is frankly no big deal. And as the sound of combat dies down, you are once more left to consider the looming fungal forest all around you. The air is damp. There's the smell of poison receding from your nostrils as these two Dragon's Blood puffballs wither and fall down into the abyss.
Trill's gonna run back in, like waving, trying to make all of the powder smoke and stuff. Because it kind of seems like smoke is how I picture it, even though it's just powder. Out of her way, because she saw how badly Istin's been hit. Like we've got, like I picture him. He's got blood streaming down something. He seems to be in bad shape, and I think Trill's gonna run to
Yeah.
Istin.
He's
Yeah, how many
leaning
hit
on
points
his
did you have?
staff really heavily. Istin has 6 hit points left, by the way. That nearly got him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, you should see the other guy.
Norman, can you do something, or do I need to cast Soothe? We gotta help Istin.
Norman throws his gold cape over his shoulder, inappropriately, dismissively.
I can see it like flowing elegantly
yeah,
behind
and
it.
just, very Gilderoy Lockhart sort of vibes, and just sort of
Totally.
walks up,
Sending a plume of spores
Yes.
into Istin's
Right,
face
right.
as he
Oh,
does so.
God,
Taking
it's
away
even
4
worse
more
now
hit
for some
points.
reason.
Oh, old sport, he'll be fine. And he chucks him under the chin and begins wrapping gauze So he's gonna do some wound treating.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think Istin will even go like, actually, could you put a little more gauze on that? I feel like I need it.
As that's going on, Mag tries to take a closer look at the spider webs and the bodies within them.
Yeah. Give me a perception check. Blind. Okay. Mag squints up into the area around the webs. You can see and this is all happening as Norman is treating everybody on this 10-foot wide stone bridge.
Treating them to some fun, am I right?
Thank you.
You're right.
You are so right.
Mm-hmm.
So the fungus here is really thick and really tall. There's thick webbing covering a lot of the fungus. There's the ceiling of the cave is about 60 feet up in the air here. It's like a natural cavern, and Mag is first looking all around the webs and then looking up at the ceiling. The light spells I think that you have from Trill at this point are good enough to shine the light that far from where you are. And you see that there are crevices all over the roof of this cavern. Like there are shadows that get cast as you sort of move your light around to look up towards the ceiling, and you don't see much of anything up there. You don't see much of anything on the webs itself, except for 3 bodies that look like they've been wrapped up in silk cocoons, I guess is what you would call them. But you don't see the presence of anything that would have made this web.
How many rounds of healing did it take?
I don't know if you needed 4 or 5, Armat. You tell me from what I rolled.
Let's see. I'm 10 hit points down, so that's probably fine.
This bridge is an interesting place to take a break because to your west, you see the more manicured fungal forest and these sheds. It almost looks, you explored these sheds. You saw like tools, you saw lumber, that kind of thing. And from where you're sitting as this healing is happening, you kind of get the sense that the area to your west is almost like the fungus is being grown like crops. It's almost like a farm that's been maybe abandoned for some time, but that would have been, a source of resources perhaps for Belcora Haravex's operation. This area to the east, though, is far more wild. It's almost as though Belcora and the children of Belcora got a foothold on the western side of this chasm, but the eastern side of the chasm is still sort of overrun by the natural life of the Darklands down here.
Lars, is there anything about what we're seeing that seems dragonish? I don't know what we might know about black dragons in the game. Like, is the acid that these things are known for, could that be corroding the fungus into this mesh that's then entrapping people who try to walk through, and so it isn't quite what it's. Is there any plausible connection or?
So a couple questions there. I'm going to answer them one at a time.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem as though this is a dragon's lair, but you do know that black dragons live in swamps, and you would still categorize, even though this is not a lake, this like damp fungal growth, like you're still in a place where a black dragon might make a lair. I think that the popular knowledge about dragons, the things that you know about dragons, is they tend to choose secluded spots to make their lairs. So it wouldn't be an out in the open place like this. If you were to find it, it would be somewhere protectable, somewhere isolated, somewhere maybe through a narrow passageway, somewhere that can be where the dragon, and this is not just true for black dragons, this is just dragons period, where the dragon could be able to secure in points, out points, and so on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So to your first question, the idea of, is this a place where a black dragon would live? A black dragon could easily live around here somewhere, not likely here. in terms of the question of, is this really a spider web or is this some sort of like fungal something else? I think in order to figure that out, I think it's going to take the four of you concluding this, healing hour that you're doing, which, by the way, it is now about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And get up close and personal with it. I don't think that's something you're able to tell from this distance.
Sounds like a lot of truffle.
And maybe we take a snook break while Aya's healing. Hey, Ayo. By the way, I meant to ask, I don't know if I've asked you this yet. What's the deal with the charming get-up, the gentleman who you are right now? I don't know if I've asked you that. I mean, it's a very lovely cloak, and he seems dashing in many ways. I just, I got to know you as Ayo.
Norman fixes him with a fake smile on his face. Well, sometimes you need an alter ego. Getting out there in the world, it can be sort of hard if you don't have a front man. And then he does a little gun finger.
Love it. Yeah, I guess I could see that. I mean, it would be hard being on your own, and, I guess I don't know where you're coming from, but, even in Absalom, Katsina, you aren't run-of-the-mill by any stretch of the imagination. Although, you see even stranger people there. Let me tell you, some really weird ones. Like, did I ever tell you about Tiny? He was the snowmanu, but he was enormous. You would have thought he was a dwarf, honestly.
Yes, we've heard about Tiny.
Oh, you've heard. Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes I try not to repeat my stories, but sometimes I do. I just,
It's okay. We forgive you. It's part of your charm.
Oh, thank you.
Zoe, can I ask you, I don't think this is something that's come up on the, while we've played before. If Norman were played by an actor of, who do you think Norman would be? Who would play Norman?
I had never thought about this, which is interesting. I do love the art that we have. Maybe Guy Pearce?
Oh. That's so funny. That's not what I would have guessed at all.
Different coloring.
I love Guy Pearce.
But I feel like that kind of handsome but a little weird.
Right.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
The big
that's just
smile
what came into my head.
too.
I always kind of pictured Bryan Cranston. All of Malcolm in the Middle Bryan Cranston.
Oh, interesting. Too old, I think.
Yeah. So him younger, I guess. Yeah, he couldn't do it now.
Are we thinking a Lieutenant Ed Exley era Guy Pearce? Are we thinking an LA Confidential Guy Pearce?
Love
Is that
movie?
Because he is a little bit
he's now
unnerving
too old
in that movie.
Yeah. More of an LA Confidential, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you guys are finishing up this healing, I just want to give you just some basic ideas of what there is here in the area. There's this thick forest in front of you, and venturing further into that thick forest is definitely a possibility. There's a rocky wall, a cavern wall on the southern side of this forest, and the forest continues off to the north to some extent. There is a wide ladder leading down into the abyss on the eastern side of this bridge. And then there's this large fungal growth that we were talking about earlier with the webbing, or what seems to be webbing coming off of it. Those are and that's pretty much what's immediately right in front of you. So what do you think?
Sorry, I've been distracted by looking at Guy Pearce's jawline.
I get
It's
it.
a cutting jawline.
You could spread butter with that jawline.
There's so many mushrooms.
Holding Guy Pearce.
Stay still.
And I mean fresh out of the refrigerator too.
And if it was his Memento character, he wouldn't know that he was not an implement.
Yeah. He'd be mad for like
or
a
if he
little bit,
remembered it,
and
then
he'd get over it.
he just, yeah.
You just tell him this is what we do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Okay.
You're my butter knife
Yes.
guy, Pierce.
He has a tattoo saying, I am a butter knife.
I can't believe I'm not a butter
I
knife.
can't believe I'm not a butter knife.
And scene.
Butter knife's the new Huckleberry.
Boy.
Are there hero points just for life? Like for me?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
That's the sense I've gotten from 2020 through 2024. Is
I
that,
think they're 5-star reviews from Alice on various products. Those are
That's it.
my
Yeah.
my real life
That's basically as good as it
Yeah.
Guy
gets.
Pierce butter knife.
currency.
So what are we doing then?
Let's go explore.
Head back to town.
Yeah, no, I think as creepy as it looks, I think our natural next step would be to go investigate the bodies on the on the spider web.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think we got to get
No
in there.
teeth from those guys, am I right? Says Norman, sauntering forward.
Okay. So you walk, sort of gingerly pushing aside these fungal stalks as you're moving deeper and deeper into this thick, into this thick forest.
Would you call it a fungal jungle?
Yes, the fungal
Ooh,
jungle.
Well.
The
There we
rural
go.
juror.
Episode title right there, Fungal Jungle.
I don't know. That
Makes
butter
me-
knife thing's
Yeah,
pretty
that was pretty good.
Pretty good. I just really like how Fungal Jungle sounds.
So as the four of you are gathering around this, what looks like almost like a crossroads, that you see the fungi reaching up to the ceiling. What are you doing? And I mean this in two different ways. What are you doing to investigate this, and also what are your like exploration activities? What are you prioritizing as you're considering this?
Well, Trill is low to the ground, the lowest. So I think Trill's kind of looking around all the areas where the webbing is touching the ground.
Okay.
And kind of trying to discern if she can figure out exactly what type of arachnid possibly created this.
Okay. So Trill's investigating, trying to figure out what kind of arachnid. That sounds like nature to me.
Oh no.
You could try.
What if
You
it's
could try
a spooky
occultism.
arachnid?
I can try
Hmm?
occultism?
What if it's a?
Yeah,
What
what
if
if
the
it's a
arachnid's in a cult?
spooky arachnid?
Okay. So Trill's investigating. What is Mag doing?
Mag would be more focused on any sign of the thing that created this like ambush lurking. So I mean scouting is the mechanical answer, but
Yeah. Now that you're closer, give me another perception check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Mag starts looking around the area. What is Isthan doing?
I think Isthan is searching, and he's kind of going along, like poking a little at the bodies with his staff, trying to like, what's that? And like,
And these bodies are on that webbing.
yeah, and I think he's like poking at them, trying to see if movement causes any spiders to rush out. Just kind of searching around, looking for.
And what is Norman doing?
I think Norman is looking at the bodies and seeing if there's any valuables, teeth, or likewise.
Okay.
And also looking for
Nice.
traps.
Okay. So Mag starts Trill gets like down on her hands and knees and starts looking at this webbing. Mag starts searching the area, like scouting, shining her light up all over the place. And then Isthan and Ao both, at least Isthan for sure, based on the way they described it, sort of nudging these bodies on the web. And you see that there's a little bit of a fluctuation, like a wave of energy, just like a rustling, as Isthan pushes the first of these bodies, and it works its way up the webbing. And Mag, looking up just a moment too late, sees an enormous spider
Will that
Don't
do
like
it?
crawl out from a crevice in the ceiling about 60 feet up.
Freaking Shelob.
And
Yeah.
before you're able to do anything, it just repels down on a strand of thick, ropey spider silk and it repels down, so it is 30 feet above you, crawling down this webbing. And you gotta roll for initiative.
I was going to ask if we could have a conversation with it.
No diplomacy?
If it was a Shelob, you could have.
Roll for initiative.
Guess this is just a normal perception roll here, huh? Not a lot of stealth.
Lars, would you mind
happening.
moving my token? I can't add myself to the combat tracker because this thing is too big.
It's too big.
It's fully obscuring me.
Okay. So as this spider advances down to get access to more prey in its hunting grounds, let's see how everybody did on initiative here. Zoe, how did Norman do?
Norman had his hand all sticky trying to get some coins out of a cadaver's pocket and got a 23.
Not super quick, so a little bit distracted. How did Armat do?
Istin did okay. He got a 29, but Mag was scouting, was she not?
Mag was scouting, so that is a 30,
Nice.
which means that you break the tie and you are going to go before
Nice. Good
this
catch.
large spider.
Thank you,
goes.
Mag.
You're very
Okay.
welcome.
How did Trill do?
Trill had a shitty roll again, so only 22, but because I imagine she was really focused on the bottom of the web, but as she looks up, she immediately goes to do a battle cry.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me lucky that this creature has this reaction that it's able to do before it rolls initiative, where it can move down web. So it does that, and immediately, right before initiative, gets in range of your battle cry. So that's like actually a terrible choice for it to have done.
I really need to stop rolling sixes. That was a 27.
Yeah, that succeeds.
Oh, great. So Shelob is frightened 1.
Okay, so the spider flinches back
yeah.
for a second, hesitating with trepidation.
Some
How did
arachnophobia right
Mag
there.
do on this initiative roll? As Mag gets a free rage here at the beginning of combat.
Yes, Mag rages. It's a 33 on the initiative roll for Mag.
Okay.
She's looking for it, and there it was.
All right. So pretty quick from both Mag and Istin, and they're going to go before this spider is able to go, just to spoil this round of combat. I want to tell you the situation here. This spider is frightened 1 and is 30 feet up in the air above you. Like I mentioned, the cavern itself is 60 feet high, and it was hiding in a dark crevice in the roof of this, in the ceiling of this cavern. It's come down 30 feet. It's climbing on its web down towards you. But at the start of this combat, as we kick off round 1, it's going to be out of reach of any melee attacks, at least for the time being.
I see. So you're saying that I finally came in first in initiative, but the thing is suspended above me, so I can't reach it.
Istin may have an idea about that if
Yep.
Mag
Mag
wants
delays.
to delay.
Okay. So at the beginning of the counter, Mag delays and Istin is able to leap into action.
Yeah. Here's a pitch for you, Lars.
Light the web on fire.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking. Istin would like to attack the spider and the thread it's descending on with a slashing gust, which allows him to target 2 creatures. Would he be able to slash the web and slash the spider?
Yes, you would be.
Ooh.
Awesome.
This thing is designed well. I know exactly how hard this web is to sever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
That is super cool. All right,
Let's hold
here
off on
we
the
go.
cool until we find out how hard it is to sever.
Right, yeah. It is an adamantine web. That is a 29 to hit.
And this applies to both the spider and the web, right?
I believe so, yes.
Because this spider flinches for a second from Trill's battle cry, that is a hit.
Awesome.
Nice.
Let's roll that damage. 15 points of damage.
Okay.
Slashing.
That is going to be that 15 points of slashing damage. That all goes through as the bits of wind cut into the hairy the hairy sort of shell that this spider is contained inside of. 15 damage to that web. You look at it and it's like, it's cut through. It looks like it's about halfway cut through.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Do I have any one action things I can do? No, not really. All right. Isten is just gonna raise his staff in a parrying defensive mode, and that's what he got.
Okay. And Mag is delayed. Would Mag like to join after Isten, or is Mag gonna keep waiting to see what the spider does?
I'll wait.
Okay. So Mag stands her ground and waits for the spider to act. The first thing that's going to happen is the spider sees Isten casting spells on it, and a plume of web shoots out of the back of the spider straight at Isten. That is a 28 to hit.
Because he raised his staff, that is not a hit.
Really?
Yeah. When he has the parry effect,
Beautiful.
it's 29.
But I'm just going to say that's also, again, because of this frightened. This frightened one on this spider is proving to be kind of a big deal.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Trill.
Love it when it
So-
works out.
The spider then is going to descend to the bottom of the web. And just to make this slightly simpler, I'm going to have it end its movement here. And it is on the ground now in front of Trill, Isten, and Mag. We're going to say that all of these fungus trees here are difficult terrain, okay?
Sure.
So if you're moving into a space where your token is getting covered up by a fungus, that means it's 10 feet of movement to get into it, okay?
Checks out.
Okay.
Sure.
So the spider gets down onto the ground, sees 3 people in front of it, and is going to make a choice about who to attack. I'm rolling a D3. A 1 is an Isten attack, a 2 is a Mag attack, and a 3 is a Trill attack. 2, it's attacking Mag. It opens up its fangs and clamps them down on Mag, slightly off balance because it has already attacked this turn. That is a 27 to hit.
My armor class is 27.
Mag gets chomped into by the spider and takes 25 points of piercing damage and needs to make a fortitude save as she feels venom pouring out of the fangs of this spider.
Fortitude save is a 34.
This was the right person for the party for the spider to have bitten, because that gets rounded up to a critical success.
Nice. Whew.
Oh, yeah.
That's it for the spider's turn. Would Mag like to undelay now?
I'm gonna wait for AO and Trill.
Get that extra boost.
Yeah, and if it tries to, if you move away, it tries to go after you, I can whack it.
Okay. So Mag continues to bide her time, and it is now Norman's turn.
Norman
Norman is... Go ahead.
also waits for Trill.
Okay. Norman and Mag both standing by, waiting to see what Trill does. What is Trill going to do?
Trill gonna do what she do.
Wait, is it no longer
Oh.
frightened, or is it just covered by the...
It is no longer frightened. At the end of its turn, the frightened wears
Oh,
off.
That's a bummer.
That was effective. So
It was big. It was huge for that
was.
first. For that
It
first.
might make sense for
Yes.
Trill to do the complicated thing she do,
We love complicated.
which is harmonize.
we love complicated here.
Yeah.
It's kind of our whole...
It's not that complicated if you're doing it the first turn. It's basically
Yeah.
just you're spending 3 actions.
Yeah, so
to
she's
do
just going to spend
everything.
all 3 actions to cast to do Courageous Anthem, Harmonize, and Dirge of Doom.
Okay.
Oh,
Seems
yeah.
like a great use of time.
So the Dirge of Doom means that I'm going to
and
make
so she'll
this
do. I
gentleman frightened.
I can't remember the exact order, but we know there's a way to do it where she's using Lingering Fortissimo on Courageous Anthem, and then the regular cast on Dirge of Doom.
For sure.
So for that Lingering Fortissimo, that's a 34. So that's 3 rounds of Courageous Anthem, and here's that Dirge of Doom.
Okay. So
Whoa.
Mag and Ao are both still delayed. Would either one of them like to go now?
I will go. Because I am hoping to trip it for AO.
I think because it's frightened, it's already flat-footed.
Oh.
Sorry, off
Oh, yeah,
guard.
dread's
About to
frightened.
Oh,
go
yeah, that's
out.
why I like to frighten it for AO.
Yeah, good point.
There's a reason. Or Norman at this point still, right?
Norman.
All right. Yeah.
It is hard to
I've
keep
said it before.
track.
We
Two
gotta
sides
get
of the
you
same coin,
fox
guys.
ears.
Two sides of the same coin.
In my head, I think of it as tripping it for Zoe.
Aw,
Anyway,
that's
Aw.
sweet, babe.
So.
Thanks.
That is nice.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna hit it with a hammer
Great.
For Zoe.
for Zoe. It's a 36.
That hits. Mag,
Um,
face to face with the myriad compound eyes of this spider, reaches forward and finds a weak point.
And looks like 32 damage.
With a nasty damage roll.
Yeah, it sure was. So you're saying I don't need to trip it. Although if it's knocked over, yeah, I want to
Yeah, it
I want to
still
do that
gets-
slam down.
Okay, let's
and
make
knock
that a
it over
slam down.
because then
That's
if it
fine.
needs to stand up, I'm going to hit
Action
it. So here is that trip.
So this creature is gargantuan. You have the Titan Wrestler feat. Probably means that you can do it.
I haven't gotten to use Titan Wrestler like once.
3 sizes, two sizes larger than you. You're medium. I think it's too big for you to trip.
It's too
dude.
big. I'm not
Oh,
legendary in
bummer.
Yeah.
athletics yet. That is so irritating. I mean, of
I'm,
all
I'm
th-
really
anyway.
sorry, David.
No.
And it's also like Titan Wrestler is a feat that I'm like, take it. It's always good. And for
Yeah.
somehow it just hasn't come in
Yeah,
handy.
I've probably underused it, but even when we were fighting the Shanrigal and the frog hemoth, it like didn't totally make sense to do that stuff to
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
Anyway, so no tripping. Okay, I will just bash it again. Here is a map -5 strike. It's only a 24 to hit.
That misses. This thing is strong, hard to hit.
Okay, then with my last action, I am going to try and intimidate it.
Keep in mind, it's already frightened 1 from the Dirge of Doom.
Oh, it is, so there's no need to do that. All right, I will make an impression.
Okay.
Um,
It likes you. It
hey.
really likes you.
Hey, we should have done diplomacy after all.
Well, I'll still like reposition myself. I'll move over to the other side of it so that Trill will have an easier time getting behind me. When the time comes.
Okay, so Mag, 2 strikes, 1 of them hitting, 1 of them missing, runs over to help defend Trill, and would AO like to undelay now?
Yes. So the first thing Norman is going to do, having had a moment to assess, is try to understand if there are any kinds of damage this thing is particularly weak or not immune, but strong to.
Yeah, give me a nature check is going to be your knowledge check for this.
Well, sorry, I should have done that blind.
Okay. So you should have known it blind, but it's fine. It's a 20. You rolled a 29. That is a success. Which one do you want to know? Weaknesses or
Weakness.
resistances? So you don't know of any weaknesses that this creature has. This is something called a Goliath spider.
Makes sense.
This is a huge, as you may know, a gargantuan spider that that dwells in jungles. They're known to build webs as big as temples and feast on prey as large as hippopotami.
Oh.
Given that I had no weaknesses, I'm a nice enough person, and I'm going to answer another question.
Yes, its name is also Joffrey.
Yes, its name.
Weird coincidence.
It's Joffrey. It's its father. It's the father of the triplets.
Joffrey.
It's all coming
Oh,
together.
God.
Yeah.
This creature seems like it is dim-witted, though, as it's tracking you around. It's a large insect. It does not have a great will save.
Interesting.
Feeling good about his last go round, Norman is gonna use the remainder of his turn to fire 2 arrows at this thing.
Okay.
First one is a 35.
That's an easy hit.
And it's off guard because it's frightened.
Yup.
That's 24 points of damage.
Are you going to, with your debilitating strike, are you going to attempt to enfeeble it, making its strength lower, or are you going to try to lower its movement speed?
It's difficult terrain, right?
Yeah, around it, it's difficult
Let's
terrain.
enfeeble it.
Great choice.
Yeah.
How much damage? It was
24
did you say?
points of damage.
24 points of damage. That all goes through. Yes. AO finds a weak point, catches this spider off guard, and does 24 points of damage.
All right, and one more arrow coming its way. That one is a 27.
That only hits because it is frightened, because it is off guard, and because you have Courageous Hand.
There we go. Look
Feels
at
good.
us.
That's awesome.
Tremendous.
And that is 19 points of damage.
You know, they say something about teamwork and dreams. I don't know what it is.
It's a beautiful saying.
Doesn't ring any bells.
It
got the
seems
big
relevant,
brains.
though. Okay. Ao, like, I'm imagining Ao is like bursting out of the underbrush, or that Norman is bursting out of the underbrush and just firing off 2 quick arrows to this spider as it sort of careens through the fungal forest, sending these stalks of mushrooms on either side as it is skittering around trying to attack Isthin, Trill, and Mag that are right in its face.
I think he's doing real
it's-
touchdown dance kind of stuff too. Like he's not being cool about it at all. He's like, gotcha, bammo.
And as Norman taunts the gargantuan Goliath spider from a mere 15 feet away, it is now Isthin's turn at the beginning of round 2.
Yeah. Given how close Trill and Norman are, Isthin's going to use this chance to bust out one of the spells he learned after losing the bet. And he's going to cast Draw Ire on this enormous Goliath spider. So it needs to make a DC 27 will save.
Yikes, a 1 on the ding-dong die there.
Yikes.
Hell yeah. Okay, so I deal 1d10 mental damage or 2d10, in fact, mental damage. And so that is 16 damage.
Okay, a D10 and I double it. Got it.
And basically, it takes a -2 status penalty to attack rolls against creatures other than Isthin.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow.
So anyway, that hopefully will keep them a little bit safer and keep it focused on the guy wearing plate armor.
Interesting.
And then with his last action, he's going to raise his staff to parry and try and tank this thing a little bit.
And how long does this last? This lasts a minute. Oh boy. So this spider sees Isthin, goes, as all of its compound eyes grow large, it leaves Mag and Trill out of its like range of vision as it just like hisses at Isthin repeatedly, like skittering around like it's like furious at him.
Yeah. And
Wow.
he says some pretty unkind things about, spiders' parentage and the egg sac he sprouted out of. So, yeah, no, it's strong words. I'm paraphrasing because I can't actually repeat them on a family-friendly
No.
podcast.
Sure.
Ao could.
Wouldn't
No,
wanna-
nor on this one.
But let me tell you, there's a lot of thorax talk.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
I know.
it's a low blow.
I know.
Or is it a high blow? I don't know where the thorax is
Sort of in
exactly.
the
Telling
middle,
it-
I think,
It's got
actually.
weak,
It's a middle blow.
telling it it's got weak
Although
petty pulps.
height-wise, it's more like slicing through all 3 of this. Well, it depends on.
Does
what you
this then have?
consider it.
Does this then have any more actions? This
He used his parry for his last action.
Okay.
So
got it.
he's tanked up.
All right, let's see how this goes. This Goliath spider is laser focused on Isthin now. Changing my strategy here, I'm going to show all of you something that I have never shown you before. It is a roulette D20, a small roulette wheel that is a D20. We're calling this the Golden Wheel.
Hell yeah.
This is, I spin it, comme ça, right? The ball bounces around inside of it, and wherever it lands, that's what I'm rolling. This Goliath spider reaches up, opens its fangs, and plunges them into Isthin's side in a fit of rage. Let's roll the golden wheel. I rolled a 6 on the wheel. That is a 28 to hit.
That will not hit because of his parry
Ooh.
and the frightened.
God.
Ooh.
This buffing, debuffing you guys are doing today is so good. Okay. The spider is going to attack Isthin one more time. That time a 15 on the die, a 33 to hit.
Well, that will actually hit him, yeah.
Okay. Isthin is going to get punctured for 18 points of damage and needs to make a fortitude save.
Alrighty. 27.
Okay, so that is a failure, meaning that you are going to go to stage 1 of Goliath Spider Venom. Isthin takes 9 points of poison damage and becomes slowed 1 as the venom permeates his blood and makes his joints feel gummy. His nerves are being damaged by this spider venom.
Okay.
The spider is focused on Isthin, but is not stupid enough to stand next to a barbarian. So it is going to skitter a few feet away to put some distance between itself and Mag and Trill.
I'd like to make a reactive strike to its big stupid thorax.
Guys, this thorax stuff, we're better than this.
I'm not. 20 on the die.
We're exactly as good as this.
Right in the thorax.
That made me really
Oh
happy.
my goodness.
You gotta draw a
Nice.
Fun
All right.
fact:
Yes.
spiders don't actually have thoraxes.
Well, this one
Oh.
doesn't have one anymore after this hit. Here it comes. Is it the ace of spades?
It's not.
It's the 6 of spades, so I'm going to take regular
Oh my
double
gosh.
damage.
Regular, boring, 62 points of damage.
Okay.
Cephalothorax. If I don't say it, someone's going to comment.
Oh, yeah, I was saying cephalothorax. I just took out cephalo and put an apostrophe in. You just couldn't see it.
And aren't they technically arthropods too, not insects?
So did it smush? Did it smush pretty good? Did I smush it good?
It smushed so good for 62 points of damage, and you get to apply your critical specialization stuff too.
Oh, thank you. My crushing rune makes it clumsy 1 and enfeebled 1, although it was already enfeebled, maybe?
Yeah.
It's also knocked prone, or it has to make a fortitude save.
Okay, here
to
comes the
avoid being knocked
fortitude
prone.
save.
All right,
33.
You passed. It's a DC 25 to stay upright.
The spider tries to get away from Mag and from Trill and fails because it can't. No, it doesn't get knocked prone. So it does manage to skitter away, which means that it's got some distance. It's still laser focused on Isthin, who has drawn its ire. It is now Trill's turn. What will Trill do?
I was going to try and paralyze it, but Trill sees it's so damaged right now. Like, its pedipalps are kind of like on the ground, can't sense anything. So she can move. And so now there's no cover, I believe.
Yeah, you're able to run to the north, and you see the fungus disappear from your face as you clear this outgrowth of fungus, and you have a clear shot
and as
at
Trill
the spider.
runs out of the forested area and like rolls to with her like lute doing some epic rock stage roll move, she'll go ahead and cast, I think, Phase Bolt. We're gonna do Phase Bolt this time because that's just an attack roll. Don't have to worry about a save. Oh no. Can I hero point that attack roll?
Sure you can.
That's a 22. That's gonna miss, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I have the hero points. May as well.
Trill digs deep and redirects her magic, this bolt of occult energy flying towards the spider.
Thank you. Well, that was a time when the hero point worked. That was a 20 on the die.
Oh,
nice.
God.
Cool.
Why?
You got it.
What did I do to deserve this?
You rolled like 9
prettiest
crits in a row to
session
start. You just used it all
ever.
up.
You heard us with the fungus before, man. Not cool.
Okay,
Just
I
give
got.
me that reactive strike.
There are 5 cards in the deck now. Did Trill draw the ace of spades? She did triple damage from this phase bolt, and the deck gets reshuffled.
I never, ever get to even do an attack roll like this.
Go ahead and roll damage, and I'll triple it. Ugh.
So that was 19 points of damage.
Okay, which is actually 38
Triple
plus
is
19
115.
is 50. Is that 57 points of damage?
Yeah.
And that is enough to send the spider crashing down into the ground.
Way to go,
dead.
Trill. And Matt.
And we will pick up from there next time.
Awesome.
Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production produced under the Paizo Incorporated fan content policy, using trademarks and copyrights owned by Paizo that are covered under that policy. The Roots of Ruin is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. All original characters and content in The Roots of Ruin are the property of Tabletop Gold, and all rights are reserved. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. Visit our website, tabletopgold.com, to learn more about us and our shows, join the Golden Horde to get access to more shows, pick up great merch, and connect to the best online community in all of podcasting. Thanks for listening.